Okay, so I started vlogging because I figured, not everyone has the time to go and read a 1,000-word blog post. And then I realized not everyone has time to watch a 20-minute video either. So I guess for the important topics, I decided to do a little bit of a TLDW vlog too. So I'm an ex-cancer patient, and don't get me wrong, surviving cancer was pretty damn awesome. But now, as a result of treatments, I'm left with cramping and chronic pain. So the cramps, we don't know why they happen. It's possibly a mix of this peripheral neuropathy I've developed. It may be because of the immune attack that's going on inside me. In fact, it's something that's experienced by a lot of BMT survivors, except we don't know why that happens, which means that there isn't really treatment for them either. Now, the cramps, they come on pretty much every day. They started off just at night times in my calves, but now they've spread to literally all over my body. You may see me twitch or, just be generally uncomfortable at times in this video. Well, that's them. Nowadays, they can happen for weeks in a row. I'll be sitting in bed, I wouldn't even be able to roll over without triggering these cramps. I would be screaming. I can't go to the bathroom some nights. But the real impact it had was on how it changed me. My life started revolving around the cramps, and not in the way that I had to move everything around and, get a good schedule and work around the cramps. No, my very thoughts were dictated by when the pain was coming on. I was wondering when the next one would strike. I'd fear getting up at nighttime knowing I'd be hunched over for at least a few minutes, which would be the worst few minutes of my life, and for a long while I was depressed. I thought that I was doomed to this forever, that my whole life it was just destined to constant failure, pain and misery, and that really sucked. But a few months ago, I developed this attitude which has helped me so damn much. A few drugs in the past that I've tried had worked on cramps, and one of those was called duloxetine. Now, duloxetine is actually an antidepressant, but it's used a lot in fibromyalgia, which has, elements of muscle pain. And, after a crisis which almost ended up in me tipping over the edge, after day 2 of taking that drug, my life completely changed. I stopped feeling those cramps. I mean, they still came on, but I wasn't registering them. I wasn't as fazed by them. This fog that had developed in my brain for years that screwed up my concentration, my motivation, that lifted. And I felt like I was the old me again. But after a while, that was taken away from me as an option. I developed some sort of toxicity to it. And I started spiraling downwards again. And at the end of last year, I was almost back to that supremely depressed old self of mine. And look, it's not like I wasn't trying to find another way of looking at things. The same mindset that helped me get through the cancer, I tried on this. I took a step back, I questioned all my doubts and fears, and I told myself, what's the best thing I'd tell someone else to do in this circumstance? And I told myself, look, this pain, it would come on, it would suck. Why make it any worse than it should be? Why not instead, when the pain came on, just allow myself to be human and just chill and not worry about things when they did? And sometimes it worked, but when the pain came on, all of that fled away, and I was left cursing my life, hoping that this thing would end as soon as possible. Again, I tried to give myself some hope. A doctor had told me falsely that not only is there nothing that they could do for me, that there would never be anything, that there'd never be research into this, that this would be my life forever. And so in an up yours sort of attitude, I went out, using the years of medical knowledge that I've developed, and found a list of 50 different drugs that would work on my condition too. Duloxetine was actually one of those. But as I went through that list and a few worked, but stopped working, and a few just didn't work altogether, I went down again. I lived and died on the results of these drugs. Now, my psychiatrist, he really has helped me a lot, and he recommended that I accept the pain, that this could be my life forever. But it's really, really hard to do that and still have something to smile about. So I guess I was at rock bottom again. And that's when I decided I just had to try something. And so I took a step back and asked myself why and how duloxetine had worked. Because it had not worked on the actual cramping, on any of those physical pathways. All it was a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It gave me a boost of that happiness neurotransmitter, serotonin. And I mean, if hits of that could reduce my pain, couldn't it work the other way around as well? Couldn't that make the pain less impactful, make it register less? Could it possibly take it away? Why not give that a shot? And I did. And I told myself, you know, with all that medical knowledge and also the research I'd done beyond this, that I could rewire my brain with neuroplasticity. I could change the way that I actually responded to the pain. And I knew that though it wouldn't happen overnight, that eventually it could change the natural response. So I wrote that down, and over the next few weeks, I told myself over and over again that the pain I was feeling was just a faulty signal, an errant response to non-existing stimuli. That the next time it had come, I'd instead focus on something else, something that made me smile, something that made me laugh. And I'd do this for the next few weeks, and I told myself that this would help make the pain less impactful. And you know what? It's been 4 months now. I mean, the cramps, they still come. In fact, they've probably been the worst they've ever been. Yesterday, it took me like 5 massages to get to sleep, but the pain is so much more bearable now. I don't have to remind myself of these thought processes. When the cramps come, I mean, I automatically register it less. The pain, it isn't as severe. I mean, I know they're happening, but my mind automatically distracts itself or simply just doesn't focus on them. It's changed my life. Now look, I'm not superhuman. I do still feel the pain, you know, when your muscles spontaneously twitch and cramp. As an animal, you can't help but register and respond to that initial pain and that shock. And I mean, I am still impacted by the cramps physically. I still get frustrated by them. That's something I need to work on next. But my suffering is 80–90% down. My life revolves around what it should. I still rest when I need to. I still have down patches too. But I think allowing myself to be human, allowing myself to tell myself that this sucks sometimes, only allows me to get back up quicker. I just no longer stay in that place. I no longer ruminate. And it's really, really changed my life. I definitely think it could change yours too. When I told my eye doctor about this, she lamented that so many doctors simply ignore the psychosocial aspect of chronic pain management. Look, it won't work for all people. I think the key is not just to say these things, but to believe them, to tell yourself them over and over. It only takes a few weeks to develop this mindset. A good habit forms just as easily as bad ones do. And if you can, and I really think you can, I think it could possibly change your life for the better. I'm always here to talk and to help. I mean, if you want to help me, check out my social enterprise, Get to Sleep Easy. We're creating some pretty awesome things, one of which we're launching actually pretty soon. And by soon, I mean tomorrow soon. And it's something that could help a bunch of other people out there too. That's all. Thanks.